AM on the way over here. It's been in the news because our president talked about it last night, and it has to do with our energy policy. Has the oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico changed your view of the U.S. policies on drilling in deep waters in the Gulf?
The incident in the Gulf is deeply concerning. It's an enormous industrial catastrophe, and one that we need to deal with and make sure that in the future we drill in deep water and we do it safely. But it hasn't changed my view. American energy for American people, it's part of what I have been doing for the last 6 years. I work in the sector which drills here in North America, land-based drilling, where we provide American energy to use here. We've got to do it right. But there were lots of regulations in place, and if there were decisions that were made that were poor decisions, we need to certainly hold those folks accountable. But it should not change our energy policy, and indeed, if anything, it should encourage us to drill safely on the land. It should encourage us to drill in ANWR. It should encourage us to drill every place that we can find energy. And there's lots of sources. It's not just oil and gas. There are lots of places that good American ingenuity can create the energy for the next generation, so that we don't have to continue to import that energy from folks who intend to do us grave harm. It's bad policy, and stopping drilling offshore is bad policy too. We'll just have higher gas prices and import more products from the Middle East.
All right, thanks, Mike. Wing Hartman, next to answer the question. Again, the question, has the oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico changed your view of the U.S. policies on drilling in deep waters in the Gulf?
Yeah, that's a great question, especially for me. I am a third-generation oil person. Grandfather, father, and I have been in the oil profession for many, many years, almost 100 years now. I do understand what happened in the Gulf. The Obama-Pelosi administration were on that platform, the mineral management people, and totally misrepresented and did not do their jobs. That accident most likely could have been avoided. What we need to do is start to consider the real alternatives from fossil fuel, which I'm in that business, but I advocate the quote, all of the above. Hydro, nuclear, wind. I own my own wind turbine at Hartman Arena, so I have more knowledge than probably I really needed on wind energy and how it affects my business. But that said, we need to take and start to consider how we can control our energy needs within our country for our people. We cannot continue to rely upon foreign dictators and people that wish to harm us and expect them to provide an unlimited supply of fossil fuels in the future.
Well, it doesn't change my mind. We need to become energy independent, ladies and gentlemen, and that starts with not only drilling off the shore, but closer to shore. The government is not allowing the companies to do that. We need to drill in ANWR, but something we have not been doing in a long time is pursuing nuclear energy. Those things have to happen to become energy independent, and if they would just enforce the laws on the books that they have now, this incident probably wouldn't have happened. If they would enforce the laws in our entire country, a lot of these things would not happen. British Petroleum is one of the largest companies, oil companies in the world, and they have the most violations. The most violations in the world. And it was one thing that could have been avoided if they had one thing and our government let them overlook it. And that was an acoustic switch on that rig. If they would have had that, they could have shut it down. They don't know for sure, but they think it could have worked. But what happened? They waived it and they let them go. And they did not allow them to put it in. Thank you.
Thank you. Gene.
It has made me think about how interrelated our system is, our planet is. To think that water from the Gulf has been detected all the way around the coast, and that the people down there in the Gulf and on Florida, Pensacola, where my brother was born, and now the beautiful white beaches are having oil come up on the sand. And if you noticed in the paper today, all of the backup plans, there was testimony by all of the oil companies, and all of the backup plans were the exact same thing. The same thing as BP. So what I want these companies to do, to voluntarily study and make sure that those plans are correct, that they will work, and not drill until those plans are approved again. Voluntarily step forward so that we know that they're safe and that they will not pollute water in the Gulf anymore.
Thanks, Jeannie. Next question.